Good afternoon, everybody. It's about 3 o'clock here in Canton, Ohio, and I have a tasting for you. I'm a little behind on my tasting videos and things because it's been a pretty rough week and weekend and everything like that. So some of you guys who are connected to the Uncanny Earth main group will already know what's going on with that. I've had a few posts about it, so we're going to try to get back into the swing of things today, try to get my head in the right spot. And what better way to do that than with a tasting of something peaty. So what I've got for you today is the Ardbeg Wee Beastie. Okay? They have a pretty clever naming system for a lot of their whiskeys. They've got the Wee Beastie, they've got the Ardbeg, which is like a pirate-themed one. They've got the Ardbeg Scorch. I haven't tried those other ones, but interesting stuff. This is about 5 years old. It's been distilled for 5 years. Or, not distilled for 5 years, but it's been in the barrel for 5 years before bottling. So it's a little bit on the young side, and that's partially why it's called the Wee Beastie. But also, because it's a Scotch, it's also named a little bit after the poem by Robert Burns, To a Mouse, where he calls a mouse a wee timorous beastie. So, I have not tried this one. I've only tried one other Ardbeg in my life that was pretty good. It was pretty peaty. Ardbeg is well known among Scotches as being one of the peatiest. It's not quite as peaty as, say, the Octomore from Bruichladdich, but it is pretty peaty. And this clocks in at about a 94.8 proof. So I'd say just pretty close to 95 proof. And it has a little bit of a blurb on here to tell you about it. They call it a monster of a dram. Young and intensely smoky with a rich, explosive mouthfeel of chocolate, tar, and savory meats. Cracked black pepper and sappy pine resin on the snout. Now, I never taste exactly what these people are putting on here. I think they hire somebody off the street who just knows like how to express themselves really well to come up with a bunch of random stuff and just tossed in a bucket and they pick words out of it. So I don't know if I'd trust that 100%, but I'm gonna give it a try and see what I think about it. Nice satisfying pop. Oh, and you can instantly smell the peat. Very strong on the peat, but you do get a definite chocolate kind of scent to it, like a dark chocolate. So I like the smell of that. I can go ahead and pour a little bit into my cup here. You'll notice I'm using my glass, one of my glasses, instead of my tin cup. No particular reason. Just figured I'd do it that way today. Have a little bit more. Got my water dropper here, as you guys know. Magic number of water drops. 1, 2, 3. 3 drops. So let's see what we got. It's a nice color. It's a nice color. The peatier scotches tend to be a little bit lighter in color than some of the sherry cask scotches and some of the other types of whiskeys. So this one's a bit on the golden appley kind of look. Looks real nice. Looks a little viscous in there. Some of them are thinner than others. This one seems a little bit more, not real syrupy, but a little bit in the in between. So, and you can definitely smell a lot more of the peat once it's in the glass. Now, when you're taking a good smell of a good whiskey, you don't want to overwhelm your senses. You don't want to just stick your nose in there and just go. You just take a bunch of big sniffs out of it like a dog or something, because you'll lose a lot of the intricacies that go into making the scotch. Thanks for that soundtrack. And you want to take just a little short Couple little sniffs, let the smell kind of get in there and kind of stimulate the nasal passage a little bit. Guess it's time to go bottoms up, huh? Here we go, the Ardbeg Wee Beastie. Develops as it goes. That first taste in the mouth is real mild. You do get a definite dark chocolate feel to it. Then you get a little bit of rush up into the sinuses. And then it starts to give you that traditional Scotch kind of burn that settles going on down into the chest. First taste is decent. I like it. It's definitely very peaty, very smoky. A lot of dark chocolate kind of taste I'm getting in there. A little bit of spiciness, like my tongue is kind of reacting as if I had something spicy, but there's not very much to it. But you can get that little tingle on the outside of the sides of your tongue, where if you'd been eating a bunch of spicy food, you get that little tingly like feeling like I'm gonna be blistering my tongue tomorrow. That kind of stuff. Not bad. Definitely interesting. Warms you up. Very warming. Very warming. You've heard me talk about some whiskeys in the past, like Lafroig or Lafroig, where they it's like a cold night of camping, where it's got a little bit of a chill to it, but it warms you up at the same time. But it's still, it gives you a little bit of chill. Whereas this gives you a lot of heat. This one definitely warms you up. Let me go ahead and take another sip to see how it goes as it develops, because a lot of times the first taste will inform your palate, and then your palate will adjust, so the second and third tastes, and so on and so forth, the overall feel is going to be a little bit different. Yep, it definitely goes straight up into the sinuses almost. This would be good on if you got a little bit of a cold, or you have some allergies or something like that. It'll definitely help clear that up. Like, I can feel my nose is almost starting to want to run. Definitely good for the sinuses. Real thick in the mouth too. Like, it feels like it almost gives you like a swollen tongue kind of feel. Not bad, but it definitely feels like, because it's a thicker Scotch, a thicker spirit, there's definitely like a thick feeling in the mouth and in the back of the throat. This would be probably fantastic with a big dinner of, let's say, like maybe a big steak with mashed potatoes and gravy, or like some pot roast, or a big hearty, hefty kind of meat and potatoes kind of style dinner. And if you're not if you're a vegetarian, then I'm sure there's like alternatives and things that you could have for that. But yeah, I could have a glass of this with a dinner like that and be really, really satisfied. I think they would complement each other super, super well. It's not a casual drinker though. I don't think this is something that you would just want to pop off the shelf if you were just in the mood to have a little drink and just drink on it for an evening. It's not a casual sipper. This is an event whiskey almost, I think. Not something. It's not particularly super expensive. This bottle, I believe, was maybe $65. Maybe $65. I ordered this online, so the prices online are a little bit different than what you might find locally, because Ohio's prices are a little bit different, and there's local taxes and there's local import and all that other kind of stuff. And this isn't counting the shipping. This, I believe, I got from Top Shelf Liquors. maybe. I don't remember the company exactly. I have a long list of companies that I usually order from when I have to order in stuff special. I got this with a bottle of Bruichladdich Classic as well, and that's an unpeated Bruichladdich. And I got that to add to my collection because I've been without one for a while. I'm kind of expanding my Bruichladdich collection right now. I got that in a separate order, I believe from Mash and Grape. I got the Eiley Barley 2011, which is a pretty good vintage. I've had the 2012 before, this is the 2011. And on order from Blackwell's, which you guys have heard me before talk about how good Blackwell's is out in California, I have another bottle of the Lagavulin Offerman edition from the Guinness casks, because I liked the one I've got so much that I wanted to have another one to add to the collection for long term, for the private stock. And then I also got 2 other bottles of Bruichladdich, both of them Port Charlottes. One of them was the Port Charlotte Scottish Barley, and one of them was the Port Charlotte 10, which the Port Charlotte 10, as you guys know, I've probably mentioned it before, is my favorite whiskey of all time. It's my #1 whiskey. It's a Scotch, it's peated, it's heavily peated, it's excellent. I have a bottle that I'm about halfway through right now, and I was getting nervous about not being able to have another one for the long term, so I have a second one to add to the private stock, so I don't have to be so worrisome once I start getting low on that one. So, final thoughts on the Ardbeg. I like it. It is very deep, and it is not a casual sipper. Definitely not a casual sipper. It hits the sinuses very heavy, and it does have a lot of that dark chocolate kind of depth to it. Very smoky, very peaty. I don't know if, and they say it's got like a sappy pine resin taste to it, and I guess, yeah, I can taste that too. This would be another camping whiskey, like Lafrag, where I would take it on a camping trip and have a little bit around a bonfire. And yeah, good stuff. So final thoughts, I really like it. Again, it's not a casual sipper. It's not something that you're just going to see on the shelf, pick up, and be like, oh yeah, I'll just have a little bit of this. This is for a serious Scotch drinker who really enjoys the peat moss smokiness. And it's something that probably is definitely more of an occasion whiskey, like with a good dinner, or maybe to share with a couple of friends, something like that. It's not something that, like I said, I would just pull off the shelf just to go through and just sip on for any old reason. So, but I mean, you can do what you want, obviously. Everybody has their own tastes and their own preferences. But that's my thoughts on it. Once my other Bruichladdich get here, I will probably do a full range tasting comparison of all the Bruichladdich that I own, with or without the Octomore. I don't know. I don't know if I want to add that to the bunch, because that's a very specific kind, but I might do a big comparison between all of them. Ooh, pardon me. I'll give you like a deluxe episode. But that's it for that. Keep an eye out. I've got a lot of stuff planned. I got a little sidetracked with everything that happened over the past week. But we're going to be looking for guests, and that includes industry insiders. That includes people who are connoisseurs. That includes pretty much anybody. If you just like to have a drink now and again, and you have some thoughts about your favorite drinks, let me know, and I will have you on the show. I'm going to be putting an intro together. I'm going to be putting all this kind of graphics and whatnot, and getting that together, which is a bit of a hefty task for me, because I've never really gone that far into video production before. But I will keep you guys updated on that. If you have any recommendations for whatever you want me to drink next, and it's within an affordable price range, which is generally less than $100. I don't like to spend more than 60 or 70 on a nice bottle unless I really need to, because it's while I buy a lot of whiskey, I'm not unlimited cash funds just dripping out my ears. So if you have something that's affordable that I can get a hold of either via order, special order, or locally, then let me know. I'll try it. I know I have some things that are not whiskey on the list, I've got the Crystal Skull vodka on the list from Dan Aykroyd. That's on the list. I've got some rums on the list. I've got a few other things, some more cognacs on the list. So we're diversifying a little bit from just the whiskey, even though that is my personal favorite. So yeah, so that's what's going on. So keep an eye for big things coming, and I will catch you guys next time. Cheers.